Hi guys, thank you so much for tuning in. Today's video is going to be all about products that I have hit pan on. I wanted to start with something really simple and something that I enjoy watching. There's something so satisfying about seeing pan on a product, even if you're not the one who put it there. So yeah, I'm just gonna get started. The first product is gonna be a little bit boring. It's by It Cosmetics. It's the Bye Bye Pores Pressed Powder. And I like to use this a lot as a finishing spray and also, as a finishing powder. And then when I use setting spray, like after I put on all my makeup, I'm still a little bit shiny right in my T-zone just because it's taken down the powdery look. And so I kind of dust this right on my chin and between, like right here on either side of my nose, on my forehead, of course. And I like it a lot. It's taken me forever to hit pan on this. I carry it in my bag quite a bit. I don't think it's the best with oil control. That's not really what it's for. So if you get very oily throughout the day, I don't think this would be the best powder for you, but I don't have incredibly oily skin. I just get a little bit shiny throughout the day, so it's good for me. And if for some reason I do use this up, which I don't think is going to happen anytime soon, I will repurchase it. Another It Cosmetics product I have is the Your Skin But Better CC Plus Airbrush Perfecting Powder. And I'm in the shade Fair. I have this and I also have the CC cream in the same shade, and I love both. They're beautiful together, they're beautiful apart. I love wearing the both of them together when I know I'm going to be outside for a long time. And yeah, it's just beautiful. It's definitely buildable. This has very good coverage in it. And they could do better with their shade range though. I think there's only 5 shades. But other than that, I like it, and I have a backup of that powder. Actually, I really like it, and I always want to have it on me at all times. So I have a backup. And so obviously I would repurchase. I have a highlighter here. It's by The Balm. It's the Mary Luminizer, the ever popular Mary Luminizer. It's the very first highlighter I ever owned, and I've used it quite a bit. I love it. It's very, it's just very strong. It's a strong highlighter, and I like that it's gold, but it's more of a champagne gold, more of like a neutral gold. And this is as gold as I will comfortably go with my skin tone. Goldy highlights don't really flatter my skin tone as much, so I do like this one a lot. And if for some reason I do use it up, I would repurchase, but I'd probably wait until it went on sale. At HauteLook, you can get it for half off, so I would repurchase it, but I don't think that's going to happen anytime soon. I have another product. No, I don't have another product from The Balm. I saw the packaging from Soap & Glory and I thought it was The Balm. But nope, it's Soap & Glory, and it's their One Heck of a Blot powder. For some reason, when I got it, I liked it a lot. I heard about it from Stila here on YouTube, and she liked it a lot. So I bought it, and I used it kind of as a touch-up powder throughout the day. And I liked it, but when I went back to use it again recently, I found that it was just very thick. I don't think it's the best for putting on top of your skin when it's already a little bit oily. I think this is good for like a finishing powder or a setting powder when you're putting on your makeup at first, but I don't think it's the best for putting on to oily skin throughout the day. I think it just ends up looking a little bit cakey, which can be said for a lot of powders. I don't think I'd repurchase this one. I have other powders that I prefer over it, but it's a good product and I do recommend it, but I don't think I'll repurchase it. It's just not right for my skin type. I have a bronzer from Physicians Formula, and this is their bronze booster. I don't think it has a shade. No, light to medium. And this one took forever to hit pan on. Forever. It's so hardly pressed into the pan that there's a lot of product in here. And I definitely got a lot of good use out of it, but it took me months. If you're doing a project pan, I don't recommend putting this in here unless you've already used it quite a bit, because it will take you months. I use a very fluffy brush. I use a lot of bronzer when I put it on. I go through bronzer pretty quickly. It's easily my favorite makeup product. I just love it. So this was a good product. I have other formulas that I prefer. I like a creamier bronzer, but there's nothing wrong with this. It's a great drugstore bronzer. So I wouldn't repurchase it myself, but I plan on using it up, and I will happily do so. I have a highlighter. This is from Laura Mercier. It's just a travel size, or just like a mini sample version. I got in a sampler kit, I think 2 Christmases ago, and it was originally domed, but now it's like flat, and if you can see the waffle pattern in the bottom, you see that? So this is pretty much almost gone. I think I do have a project pan coming up, and I think I will put this in here because I can see myself actively using it up. And also, it's not a cruelty-free brand, I don't believe. So I would like to use this up and get it out of my collection. But it's beautiful. I have other cruelty-free dupes in my collection. If I didn't, I think I would have a harder time getting rid of it because it is a beautiful product, very beautiful. So if you do buy Laura Mercier products, I do recommend it. I think it's a good highlighter. Very subtle. It's great for people of any age. I think it doesn't have any glitter in it. It's beautiful. It's beautiful, guys. The next one is a blush. It's the only blush I have. It's from Too Faced, and it's their Love Flush blush, and it's in the shade Baby Love, and it's the only blush I've hit pan on so far. I'll talk about this in a blush decolor that's coming up actually in a couple days. It should be coming up in a couple days. And I'm also doing a video where I compare a few different blushes and how long they take to hit pan or use up in one case. And this one, I just feel like I hit pan on it very quickly. I don't feel like I get as many uses out of this than I would other blushes with different formulas. But I'll talk more about that in that video coming up. The next one I have is not something I'm crazy about. It's the Benefit Hello Flawless Powder. I'm in the shade I Love Me Ivory, and I just don't even know how I hit pan on it because I don't like it enough to be using it that often. I think I was using it kind of like let me show you, the powders from the Shade and Light palette from Kat Von D. Spoiler, I hit pan in one of the products here. The light is kind of, there we go, right here in the shade Levitate. This one's a little bit more of a pinky shade, can't really tell with this lighting, and this one's more yellowy. I've definitely used up this one, but the shade Lyric reminds me a lot of this Benefit powder. So I think I use it for similar, kind of to add a little bit more coverage to my under eyes, and also it has like a yellowy tone. I think it's just too yellow for me. I find a lot of Benefit face products do run very yellow, and I think it's better suited towards people with very oily skin tones or skin types, which I don't have, so I think it's just a little bit too much. It's a very full coverage powder, and I don't really need a full coverage powder foundation for my skin needs personally. So I just think there's nothing wrong with this product necessarily, but I think it's just my skin type isn't very compatible with it. So I won't be repurchasing. I don't even know if I'll use this up. I don't know. Also, Benefit's not cruelty free, so it's not breaking my heart anyway that it's almost gone. So of course, Shade and Light palette, I hit the shade on Levitate. These are very powdery. These are very soft powders, and so I feel like you can hit pan on them quite quickly. I think I wouldn't repurchase the entire palette just for these shades, even though I do like these 3 shades right here. I like those a lot. I've hit quite a dent on this bronzer. I don't know if you'll be able to see, but I've used it quite a bit. And I would repurchase this shade and this shade, maybe. But I don't know, I have lots of other powders that it would kind of be an inconvenience to go out and purchase these specifically, but they sell them in their own pans now, thank goodness, so I don't need to buy this whole palette again, because not all the shades are really great for my skin tone. So that one I hit pan on. The next one is by Rimmel. It's their Stay Matte translucent powder. This is the translucent shade, but they have other shades, and this one's almost gone too. I just haven't used it up yet because I hate the packaging. I hate the packaging. This top broke within a week of owning it. All the letters and everything has popped off. It just comes apart for no reason. You can't travel with it. It just, I don't know. There's nothing special about the product anyway. I don't see myself repurchasing it, and I do. I hate the packaging so much. So I don't even know if I'll bother using it up, but no, I will. I'm not gonna waste product. I'll use it up, but I will not repurchase. Next one I have is a bronzer. I have a couple more bronzers here. The first one is by Too Faced. It's their Chocolate Soleil bronzer. It's in the milk chocolate one, but I also have just the regular chocolate shade, and that works fine for my skin tone too. I love the undertone in this. It's more like yellowy, but in a good way, not in a bad way. And I just really like it. I think it warms up my skin without being too dark. I love that they have a good shade range. I think they have 4 or 5 different shade options, but they have a ton of bronzers within this line. I love that it smells like chocolate. It's such a treat to use every morning. You just dust all over your face and it just smells like chocolate. It's amazing. And yeah, I have the milk chocolate version, and I would repurchase this. Once I use it up, I will repurchase it. I love it. And I have another bronzer here by Laura Geller, and it's their Beach Matte Baked Highlighting Bronzer. And I'm in the shade Sunrise Fair, which I think is the lightest shade or the second to lightest shade. They have maybe 4 or 5 different shade ranges for this, and if you can see, it had a beautiful quilted pattern on it before I hit pan. and I did like that. I think it's pretty. I think it's a pretty bronzer, nothing crazy awesome, and also it smells like plastic, like really strong of plastic, so I don't love that. I don't think Laura Geller's cruelty free, so I wouldn't repurchase it anyway, but it's a good bronzer, and it's, you know, just one of those run-of-the-mill, does its job bronzer, but there's nothing spectacular about it. But they do have 4 or 5 different shade ranges, so that's good. It's hard to find. This next one, it's a little bit of a complicated story, but it's by Becca, and it's their Perfect Skin Mineral Powder Foundation, and it's beautiful. I would say it's definitely a mineral, or a medium? Yeah, medium foundation, like medium coverage is what I'm trying to say, and I'm in the shade Shell, and I heard about this first from Wayne Goss, and I love it. I think it's beautiful. It's easily one of my favorite powder foundations. However, it shattered. I had hit pan on it, quite a bit of pan on it when I first had it, but like a dummy, I put it in my backpack and it shattered, and I tried to repress it, but I didn't know how, so it's really lumpy, and there's a little bit of pan right up there, just from like where the product didn't cover the pan when I pressed it the first time. But yeah, it's on its last leg. I could easily use this up. However, it's limited edition, I'm pretty sure. I've been having trouble finding it anywhere. So if you can find this, please let me know. I want another one of these so bad, and I just don't think I can find it. But it's a beautiful product. And I'm in the shade Shell. And I did originally hit pan on it, I promise. I have another powder foundation. I'm a big fan of powder foundations. I don't know if you can tell. I've hit pan on like 5 of them. And this is by NYX. It's the Stay Matte but Not Flat, and I'm in the shade Nude 02. And this stuff is almost gone, but I didn't buy it that long ago. There's just like, I don't know if there's not a lot of product in there in the first place, or if it's just really powdery, but it's like a light to medium buildable coverage. It's a nice formula. There's nothing wrong with it, but I burned through this. It was like $11 or $12. I'm not buying that again. For me to like go through it so quickly. I just don't think it's worth that kind of money for how quickly I use it up. So it's a nice product and I do recommend it, but I just think if you go through powder foundations as quickly as I do, this one will be gone within no time. So I won't repurchase it just because I don't want to burn through my money like that. I have other powder foundations that last much longer, so I don't know why that one goes so quickly. I have well, it's technically a bronzer, but it's not a bronzer. It's from Wet n Wild, and it's their Reserve Your Cabana bronzer in, Reserve Your Cabana is the name of the shade. And there we go. There's so much product in here, but it's very powdery. So I hit pan on it, probably within like 2 months of using it, but I use it for everything. This is a beautiful product. I will absolutely repurchase it. I think it's beautiful. I have it on as a highlighter today, and you can get some serious shine with that. Of course, I have a lot of light on me right now, but it's a beautiful sheen. It's natural enough that I wear it to the office every day. It's beautiful. I use it to set my under eyes. I use it to set my eyeshadow primer. It's a wonderful multitasking product. It's just like magic, honestly, because how can it give me this kind of sheen, this kind of highlight, but be something that I can still feel comfortable using under my eyes without feeling like it's like super highlighted there, you know, or like super shimmery there. It's just beautiful. There's no glitter in it, just a sheen. It reminds me a lot of the Laura Mercier, did I tell you what that was? It's the Highlight 01, the Matte Radiance Baked Powder. This little guy that I was talking about earlier. Reminds me a lot of that. It has a similar formula. Not an exact dupe, I wouldn't go that far, but I think it's beautiful. You get so much product in here. I paid like $5 for this. Love it, love it. I will definitely repurchase if I use it up. Another Wet n Wild product, also $4.99, I'm pretty sure, and it's the Contouring Palette Contour is what it's called. I'm in the shade Dulce de Leche, and I've hit pan on both sides. I pretty much now only use it for when I'm traveling. It's wonderful for traveling. It's really thin. It has a nice like snap close. And it's just really thin, and if it does break when I'm traveling with it, it was only $5, so it wouldn't be too heartbreaking, but I will definitely repurchase this when I use it up. I think it's a great product. The bronzer, I know it looks really dark, but it doesn't come off that way. I think it's really versatile for multiple skin tones. It's definitely not too dark for me, which is something that I have a lot of problems with because I am very fair. This works fine for me. The yellowy powder reminds me a lot of that yellow powder from the Kat Von D Shade and Light palette, Levitate, or Lyric, the yellow one. It reminds me a lot of that. They're both very powdery and soft, like very soft. They are just beautiful, my goodness. So I like both of these a lot, and I would definitely repurchase it. And the very last one I have is an eyeshadow palette. It's very satisfying to have a palette in here. It's the Lorac Nude Necessities palette, which was a limited edition product, and it's very dirty. It's super shiny, and it was a very like nude type eyeshadow palette. You know, I don't think this would be good for anyone with a deeper skin tone. I just think it's perfect for someone really fair like me, especially because I don't go crazy with my eyeshadow looks on a day-to-day basis for work. I kind of just use really neutral shadow looks, and so this is great for me. I've hit pan on 4 shades. I've hit pan on, let me see, these 2 shades up here, this shade up here, and this one up here. They're not individually named, so I can't give you names. This formula reminds me a lot of the Lorac Pro formula from their Lorac Pro palettes, but it's not the same. It's not any worse or better, it's just not the same, but it is very soft and powdery, so it's quite easy to hit pan on these. Let me see if I can do a little swatch. Yeah, they're quite powdery, if you can't see that. They have a lot of product, but beautiful, beautiful palette. I could easily see myself using up this palette, and I'm kind of kicking myself for not buying another one, but these are very neutral, basic shadows, so if I really wanted to recreate this palette, I easily could. But yeah, that's everything. This is my first video, so if you have any feedback to give me about the lighting or the video quality, the sound quality, I don't talk very loud in general, so I brought a microphone just so you guys could hear me when I'm talking into the camera. But if you have any suggestions for me, please, I am not a technology expert. I'm not a pro when it comes to filming or editing or anything, so any advice you can give me, I'd love. I'd also love if you'd subscribe. I have so many ideas. I have so many things I want to talk about, and I have so many directions I want to go with this channel. So if you could subscribe and tag along for the ride, I would be so honored. But that's everything I have for you today. Thank you so much. Have a great day.